Hi Ranchers, today we're going to talk about being flexible. We keep our body flexible by doing activities such as stretching and yoga, but it's also important that we keep our brain flexible so we can try new things and not get stuck in our thoughts or doing the same thing again and again. So for today's activity, we're going to need a box with a hole in it. So a small Kleenex box works really well. A clear baggie, a couple slips of paper with a hole punch at the end, some pipe cleaners, popsicle sticks, and art supplies. Okay. Oh, we also need scissors and tape. So what does it mean to be rigid? Rigid is something that when it bends, it breaks. And it's not going to go back into its original shape. Something that's flexible is something that can move and bend and change shape, but return to its original position without any breakage. Let's set up our rigid brain. So we're going to take one of our brain printouts here. And I just found this online. If you don't have a brain printout, that's fine. And we're gonna write the word rigid on this brain. It's a little hard to see. So this is gonna be our brain that doesn't bend and only has rigid thoughts. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut a little slit in our brain. We're gonna tape this brain to our Kleenex box. Okay, so you're gonna put where the hole is right on top, right there. Okay. So now we have a rigid brain. This is a box brain, something that's hard and not flexible. So this is where our rigid thoughts are gonna go. So a rigid thought is something that doesn't change. So that's something like how you feel when plans change. That could be a rigid thought, maybe something that you don't like. Being stubborn and not being able to try new things. Stubborn. Let's see, always. Always doing the same thing. So always doing the same thing and not willing to try anything new. That's another rigid thought. And let's do one more and we'll say always getting your way. So always getting your way, not listening to anyone else, and always having to do what you want to do. So these are our rigid thoughts. We're going to put our rigid thoughts in our rigid brain. I'm going to slide right in. Okay. Last one. Okay. So these rigid thoughts are stuck in this brain. They're not going to come out, and it's not going to let us have flexible thoughts when we only think in rigid thoughts. So these are stuck. So when we want to get unstuck, we want to be flexible. So we're going to write flexible on this brain. And the clear baggie is going to serve as our flexible brain. I'm going to put that right in here. So you can already tell the difference because this is clear and you can easily see thoughts and new ideas. In this box, you can't see through and the brain and the thoughts are stuck. So for our flexible thoughts, we have our slips of paper here that are hole punched. So a flexible thought would be something like trying new things. And this can be scary, but it's also good for us. I'm gonna also write and foods, because for me, trying new foods is something that I'm not very good at and something that I wanna do better. So we're gonna take our flexible pipe cleaner and put our thought on here. And we can kind of twist and maneuver because our flexible thoughts are always changing. And look, we've got a fun, flexible thought. So we're gonna put that right into our flexible brain. It's better if you have a bigger baggie, but working with what we have here. Okay, so let's do another flexible thought. Another flexible thought would be letting others decide. So not always having your way. Maybe it's letting someone else decide the music or letting someone else decide the activity. So letting someone else decide, or at least taking turns. Okay, so let's put that on a flexible thought here. We'll make this a fun shape. All right, now we have this fun, bouncy, flexible thought. Okay, let's do two more here. Let's try sharing. Now it can be sharing supplies, sharing something that you have, puzzles, anything that you want to share. Okay, like that. Another fun, flexible thought. Put that in our baggie, a flexible brain. And let's do one more here, and let's say listening to others. Listening to others is a good, flexible thought because it's important that everyone can share. Okay, so we'll put this on our flexible thought here. Make it a fun shape. And now we have another flexible thought. So, these thoughts fit in our flexible brain here that you can see can bend and shape and move. They can come out and change easily. The thoughts in a rigid brain aren't gonna come out. They're not gonna be able to change easy. So it's important that we have flexible thoughts that we can change and adapt and try new things.